before we were so rudely interrupted, the Giants bringing the band back together, bringing in DeSclafani, bringing in Alex Wood. I love the moves. I think it is a smart move. I think that there's rumors that they're also going to go for Cobb, so they could have DeSclafani, Wood, and Cobb. What we're not hearing is Gausman. That's what we're not hearing. We haven't heard anything about Kevin Gausman in the Giants. So does all of these moves, does DeSclafani, does Wood, does Cobb, is there any sort of indication there that that could be it? That there might not be a Kevin Gausman return to San Francisco? We know the Blue Jays are interested in Gausman. You know, Gausman could be a $100 million a year pitcher. I think he probably will be. It's just, where's he going to land? There's a lot of teams that could use him. The Red Sox could use him. The Jays could use him. We talk about most of the league, if they're trying to win right now, they could use starting pitching, whether it's an upgrade or they actually have holes that they have to fill. So we see where Gausman goes, but we know that there are rumors out there. But ultimately, what the Giants did, they got it done, and they needed to do that. It was just Logan Webb in the rotation on the depth chart until yesterday. Now they're filling out the depth chart, and it's starting to look a little bit better. So let's keep talking, because the other piece of news that Blue Jay fans are most interested in is that Steven Matz is going to be picking his team on Wednesday. That is the word, that a Steven Matz deal is coming. Where's Steven Matz going to go? John Heyman says that Matz is picking between offers from the Giants. Giants offer is said to still be out there, even with the deals that they have brought in. So the Giants, the Red Sox, the Jays, Tigers, Cubs, Cardinals, Angels, and Mets are the teams that are sort of finalists for Steven Matz. I have to think that the Blue Jays are, if we were to pick three out of that group, a realistic finalist. I would be surprised if Matz went to the Cubs. Maybe if the Cubs have the most money on the table, you could see him going to the Cubs. The Angels makes sense, and you got to think the Angels have a good dollar amount on there. So I got to think it's going to come down to the Giants, the Jays, the Angels, and the Mets. If I had to pick four, I think I'm going to eliminate the Cubs. I think I'm going to eliminate Detroit. I think I'm going to eliminate Boston. I'm going to go with Giants, Jays, Angels, and Mets as the finalists, and I'm going to pick that he ends up going to. I can see. Let's see. I think the Angels. Where do you got him going? Comment in the chat. Where do you have Steven Matz landing? Where is Matz going to land? Ian, you want him to go to the Cubs. Mark, Giants don't like to go long years on pitchers. Got burned by Cueto and Samardzija. Let's talk about, hey, you have Matz resigning with the Jays. Marco, you don't want Matz back on the Mets. Wood hasn't resigned yet, though. Natalie, good call on that. Wood does that. The word is that's being finalized. Needs to be finalized, but all indications are he's going back. Detroit's a good fit, Ryan. I agree with you on that. I don't know if you're looking at a slew of teams there: Giants, Red Sox, Jays, Tigers, Cubs, Cardinals, Angels, Mets. I can't see Detroit being a high bidder. I can't see Detroit being one of the top 3 or 4 bidders for him. So that's why I feel like I'd probably pass on Detroit. Angels from Baseball Domain. Anthony's got him with San Francisco. Ryan, Angels. Hayden, Tigers. Lionheart, Jays. Midwest, Cubs. Tyler, you got Matz going to Toronto. There's a very good chance he goes back to the Jays. What's interesting is if he is going back to the Jays, you got to think, is there a domino effect there? If they're bringing Matz back, we got to see what the dollar amount is. Because if the dollar amount is somewhat high, are the Jays out on the other two? And that's that. So Matz, the dollar amount for Matz, if he goes back to Toronto, is going to be important. Liam, good to see you. It's going well. We crashed. This is our second attempt at the stream. I don't see Boston. It's a gut feeling, quite frankly. I don't have a good reason other than it is a gut feeling. we're talking about teams that are going to overpay. I think the Angels could overpay. I think the Mets, depending on the conversations they're having with some of the other free agents that are out there, the Mets might get up there if we're talking about spending. I don't see Boston overpaying. I think Boston might have some higher priorities. So there's a few things, but ultimately it comes down to it's a gut feeling on the Red Sox. And Kyle with the good point there. With Barrios re-signed, the Jays can move past Ray, re-sign Matz, and then try to re-sign Marcus Semien. Depending on the dollars for Matz, that will be an indication on if the Jays are in on Robbie Ray or Gausman. Let's just see, right? If Matz, Joel Sherman was talking about today, thinks that Matz gets a similar deal to Anthony DeSclafani, maybe a little bit lighter on the salary by a couple $1 million. So that's kind of the world that Steven Matz is apparently thought to be living in, considered by Joel Sherman. So we'll see. Baseball Domain, if Semien really wants 7 years, I'd move past him and go for either a younger shortstop or Matt Chapman. 7 is tough. 7 will be tough to swallow if you're the Blue Jays. AJPS12, Vladdy's going to get $400 million. It's going to happen, whether it's with Toronto or whether it's with somebody else. Vladdy's going to get $400 million. It's coming, or it's going to be close. Look at what Tatis got. You're now in a situation with Vladdy. Franco's deal, he has less than 1 year service time. Vladdy now is entering his arbitration years, so he has a couple years service time. Vladdy's going to get $400 million. Baseball Domain, if Matt signs with Toronto, it'll be 3 for $40. He goes to the Angels, it'll be 4 for $50. Yeah, I think the Angels are going to be a top bidder. I think the Mets will be a top bidder, and I think the Blue Jays will get in there because he was just there. I got to think that there's some I don't want to call it comfort or just some leg up that the Blue Jays have because he's there. He was working with that pitching staff, the pitching coach Walker. You've got everybody there he's familiar with. Midwest Sports. I think he has a tough decision to make. I think if he's got that many offers on the table and he's trying to weigh it out, I think he's got a tough decision to make. And he's probably just weighing it all out, probably talking to some people. Anytime you make a big decision in your life, you talk to some people, right? You talk to your mom, you talk to your dad, you talk to your wife, you talk to your brother, your sister, you talk to people, you talk to your agent, I think he's probably talking to a lot of people. He also might be trying to push up some offers. So we have a Matz deal. We know that a Matz deal is next. Here's the other big news that came out today. Now, we haven't had any signings today outside in the pitcher market. I know we got the Franco deal. But in the pitcher market, we have not had any big signings today. But what we did have was word from Buster Olney that John Means is being dangled. The Orioles are dangling John Means. And that's interesting because John Means going to make about $3 million this year in arbitration. Had a great first half, struggled in the second half. We're going to take a look at his numbers. Entering his first year of arbitration. So you got 3 more years of control for John Means. Where does John Means go? John Means, listen, we talk about trades. We're going to also talk about Sonny Gray here in a minute. So we'll kind of dive back into my thoughts on trades at this point. But if the Orioles are dangling John Means, listen, they already made one terrible decision. They just completely let Pedro Severino go, and Severino was instantly one of the top 2 or 3 catchers available on the market. With a pool that shallow, you can't go and just let somebody go that will instantly be one of the big fish in the pool. Terrible decision by the Orioles. This whole John Means thing, I mean, listen, I do not believe the Orioles even know which way is up, so we will see what they end up doing with John Means. Means entering his first year of arbitration. doesn't mean, doesn't spell good things for Cedric Mullins. Cedric Mullins is still a pre-arbitration player. I think next year Mullins' arbitration clock will start. He'll start getting some big money. So you could see Means traded this year, Mullins traded next year, and the Orioles just decide to make the basement their home for the next decade. But John Means, here's the deal on Means, guys. Started out very strong in the first half. We've got his 2021 stats, and we have his splits from first to second half, because first half was solid. You love what you got from Steven Matz in the first half. They couldn't hit him. He did very well. And then in the second half, it all kind of went down. So John Means was elbow issues, got hurt, missed a ton of time. Also came out right around the same time that the sticky stuff got banned. I don't know. But he had some elbow issues. So what John Means actually is moving forward is a great question. And is there any alarm that the Orioles are trying to trade him as he's entering his arbitration years? Gregory, good to see you. Welcome in. I am dealing with this throat is fighting today, guys. We're pushing through. Let's see. So then we got also news from the Reds, organizations that are struggling with knowing what they're doing, that the Reds are open to trading Sonny Gray. That's the word. But they're indicating to rival executives that Tyler Mahle and Luis Castillo are off limits. So we focus on Sonny Gray as the trade piece for Cincinnati. A little bit of a disappointing season last year, to be quite honest. 7-9 with a 4.19 ERA after a 2.87 ERA, a 3.70 ERA. Seeing that thing rise is not a good sign, especially as he's going to be entering his age 32 season. His deal is rather friendly to an organization. But yes, Richard, John Means is almost 30 years old. That's another thing about John Means. He's getting up there. So with Sonny Gray now coming off not a great year, you got to think what they could have gotten for Gray last year would have been much better than it will be this time around. But I talk about it with John Means. I talk about it with Sonny Gray. I talk about it with Matt Olson. With all these guys that are available on the trade market, don't expect, in my opinion, any trades to go down until the pieces come off the free agent board. Okay, once Freddie Freeman is off the board, then maybe you see Matt Olson. Once Anthony Rizzo's off the board, then you see maybe an Olson deal. Once, Robbie Ray is off the board. Once Rodon and Gausman and Kershaw, once these top starters, Stroman, are off the board, then you'll start to see the market heat up for Sonny Gray and for John Means and whatever's going on with Miami, and then potentially trading a starter. Because why, if you're trading that player, would you not want to wait until the demand is higher? Right now, the demand for that talent isn't as high because, quite frankly, there's a lot of other supply out there. So wait till some of that supply is off the market, and all of a sudden your guy that you have that you're willing to trade is the best available. So the Reds, the Orioles should not, I'm surprised the Orioles are dangling it right now. Again, I don't think the Orioles know which way is up. There should be no moves for those starting pitchers until we know we see some of these others come off the board. Gavin, no news on Freeman. So we'll wait and see. All right, we see what happens with the free agent market, and then we'll see if Sonny Gray actually gets traded. I think it's a big mistake, yet again, for the Reds to tell the rest of the baseball world that Luis Castillo is not available. Luis Castillo led the league in walks last year, put up an ERA of 3.98, trending in the wrong direction. You hold on to him for another year. That's one less year that a team is trading for, so it's less that you're going to get in a return. The Reds just let Wade Miley go for nothing. They traded Raisel Iglesias last year for nothing. The Reds are just really making The Reds are just doing it wrong. They're straight up doing it wrong. We can talk about Suzuki, but let's finish up with the pitching. We can talk about Suzuki. What's up, Wardy? Good to see you, and Tyler. Let's see. Would I like Matz back in Toronto? I would like Matz back in Toronto, but not at the expense of Robbie Ray. So I'm waiting to see what the Matz deal turns out to be. Tyler, if you're still here, do you want Matz back with the Mets? Let me know what you think about that. So we've got what's next. Okay, that is the question. What is next? Again, I'm going to tell you that I think we're going to have to wait for some trades. I think that we're going to have this Matz deal coming down the pipe tomorrow, within the next 24 hours potentially. Woods deal has to get finalized with the Giants. The Giants also close on Cobb. And you've also got, out of Miami, the Alcantara extension that they're talking about. Yesterday, we started to hear that the Rays were trying to get their extension done. So that news cycle took about 24 hours for that to get done. So you kind of wonder if it's something similar with Alcantara, if they can get that done. So Sandy looking like he's going to get his extension. Does that mean Pablo Lopez is the player that ends up getting bounced from Miami? So we end up waiting to see what happens with that. Let's see, Wardy. I'm fine with him as long as bigger moves are made for 2 and potentially number 3 starter. Right on. Everybody check out Wardy if you have not checked out Wardy yet. Wardy NYM for the best Mets content on YouTube. So make sure you check out Tyler over there. Just past 10K subscribers there, Tyler. Again, I know we messaged back and forth on Twitter yesterday, but again, congratulations to you. So we are looking at what's next. Again, I think the trades, we're going to have to hold off on the trades. And then it could really quiet down around Thanksgiving. I think we could see another rush of moves tonight like we did last night with Loup and with the word on Wood and the DeSclafani deal. I have a feeling that we could see another lefty get picked up, because think about it this way. You just had Aaron Loup go. Aaron Loup, in my opinion, the best left-handed pitcher on the market. You've now got, if we're looking at the rest of the lefties available, 4 good, really top-notch lefties that are out there. You got Chafin, you got Shreve, you got Watson, and you got Diekman. So you got those 4 left. Any team that is looking to make that left-handed acquisition, they need to get a deal done now, because you don't want to wait until it's just your Watson and Diekman left or Shreve left, because then you're overpaying. So go out there and get a deal done now. I know the Mets, Wardy, your Mets need to get a lefty now that Loup is gone. Epler needs to get on the phone and get a deal done. Get Chafin in there, get Shreve in there, Watson, Diekman, something, because those are your elite lefty arms. There are some other good ones out there, but those are the top. That's the cream of the crop right there. You got to go get them. So I could see another lefty come off the board either today or tomorrow. I think we'll see. I really do think we're going to see a lot of moves before Thanksgiving, before Thursday. Players trying to get some deals done before the holiday and in advance of that 12-1 deadline. So I think that could be next. What else? Again, Lopez, I think, could be potentially on the move if an Alcantara extension is done, and there'll be a flood of teams that would get into that market. Word was the Blue Jays were potentially talking about a Lopez deal. Does Kevin Gausman get done before 12-1 is an interesting idea. Jays and Giants appear to be 2 of the teams that are sort of in front there. Morosi talking recently that the Jays are interested in Gausman. Now, we looked at it already a few times. We can look at it again. Jays rotation. Kyle. Yankees will do nothing. I think I did my top 10. I did not have the Yankees getting any of the top 10. AJPS, thank you for the super chat, my friend. I appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the support for the channel. I appreciate that. Anybody that hasn't subscribed, if you're just hanging out, if you're just finding the channel, make sure to subscribe and stay close to the channel for baseball talk, for breaking news, for you guys to have a place to just talk baseball. Talk it with me. Talk it with other people in the chat. You guys are Ballcap Nation, and this is your chat. This is your stream. This is for you guys. So AJPS, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate that, my friend. So the Jays rotation with Gausman, Matz, Ray. You got Barrios with the big deal now. You got Ryu. You got Manoah. Ray, Matz, or Gausman. You may only get one of those three. If Matz goes somewhere else, Jays fans don't need to worry, because if Matz goes somewhere else, I think still a serious player for Ray or Gausman. Nate Pearson, where does he fit in? The Jays, it would have been talked about, were trying to bring in both Ray and Matz. They're trying to bring both of them. Not just one, but both of them. So if they go and get two of these guys, then the rotation starts to fill out and Nate Pearson moves out of the rotation, which, depending on your feelings on Nate Pearson, could be a good thing. So the Jays rotation options there. We'll see how it all fills out. Is Steven Matz coming over? We don't know. Again, we have Gausman, Means, Gray. We have Kirby Yates rumored with Arizona. So there's a lot of smoke. And again, there's been a lot of rumors with the hitters, right? A lot of talk about Story and the Mariners. Suzuki's going to pick up a lot of traction. Correa and the Tigers. There's been a lot of talk. Seager, but nothing seems close. And we've got all these pitching deals. It's just been some minor moves with the bats. Severino getting signed. Tyler Wade getting traded by the Yankees to the Angels. So we watch and we see what's going on. Just checking to see. All right, Passon tweeting a few minutes ago. Tyler tweeting it at me. One thing I do want to remind everybody, if you see something, make sure that you say something. I put it up there. And remember, the FanDuel contest is live. FanDuel contest is live, so you can click the link if you already have an account. Click on the link to join if you need to create an account. I also have a link for you to create an account. So if you're looking to create an account, I ask that you please use that link. It helps me out. So Passon tweeting, lots of different iterations of Wander Franco's deal have been exchanged in recent days. Final numbers on the contract per sources: 11 years, $182 million guaranteed, a $25 million club option for the 12th year. Deal can max at $223. There are $3 million escalators for 1 through 5 MVP finishes starting in 2028. So Wander Franco getting paid, and he should be. Let's see. L24 bar, Marte to the Astros. I love the idea. I don't know if that's happening, but I do know Starling Marte, John Heyman, he was one of the big, Marte was one of the big names that they were talking about that could be one of the hitters to sign before 12-1 because of how much heat was on Starling Marte. Love the idea of him going to the Astros. If I'm the Astros, if I want to go out there and win the West again next year, it's Andrelton Simmons at shortstop. It is Starling Marte in center field, and I feel good about that if I'm an Astros fan. Starling Marte gets a 3 or 4 year deal. Andrelton Simmons gets a 1 year deal with an option, and you've got some prospects that are ready to come up and replace Andrelton Simmons. Maybe this year or next year, because Simmons has got some good stuff there. Liam, Jay Sushine, John Gray. Well, that could be an option if they go the Steven Matz route. If they don't go higher salary on Robbie Ray or Kevin Gausman, you go maybe lower salary on Steven Matz and John Gray. That wouldn't be bad. I could get behind that. Certainly, I would rather have Robbie Ray, but I could get behind a situation like that. L24 bar subscribing. Thank you very much. Welcome to Ballcap Nation. Thank you for subscribing. Simeon to Cubs. I don't think that'll happen. Little Urs 7. I don't see it happening. They're not gonna make that big of a splash right now. They need a direction right now. This year seems to be, and I think they've even said as much, that this is not a year that they are expecting to make the playoffs. Don't go and waste a year of Marcus Semien. These are prime years. Whoever gets Marcus Semien needs those prime years now, because if he actually gets a 7-year deal and you're really having Marcus Semien at age 37 and age 38, what are you going to be expecting at that point? I can't see much happening there. Let's see, Tyler, if I'm the Giants, sign Duvall and Alex Cobb, and now we're deep once again. Yep, they could do that. Now, there was a question about Suzuki that, we can talk about. We talked a lot about Suzuki yesterday, and I have more of an in-depth piece on the channel. I have a 10-minute video, a clip from the live stream yesterday that I uploaded separately just for anybody who didn't catch the live stream or didn't want to dive into that, was just looking for Suzuki content. Like Suzuki, love his stance, love his swing path, love everything about Suzuki and all of that. He was a beast over there in Japan. Obviously coming over, it's going to be a whole new game, but he's still in his prime. He's in his late 20s, so you got some good years left. Word is West Coast is where he could wind up. San Francisco, Seattle. I put a poll out on the channel asking you guys where you think that Mr. Suzuki is going to wind up. And what did we have? We had 3,000 votes, and 34% say Mariners, 15% Giants, 16% Mets, 13% Blue Jays, 22% saying other, with a lot of the other votes going Rangers, Braves, Yankees. So we had a lot of Rangers love for Suzuki. I don't see the Rangers getting the Suzuki thing going, but mostly Mariners. A lot of votes for the Mariners. Again, 34% of the 3,000 saying Mariners for Suzuki, where he might wind up. Let's see, Tyler, you have Suzuki in San Francisco. It makes sense. I think they will be a finalist. I've got my 4 finalists are Seattle, San Francisco, the Blue Jays, and the Mets for Suzuki. And here we are, day 2 since Suzuki posted. I will continue with my prediction of Suzuki going to the Mets. I know Gregory, I saw you. Listen, I think that the Mariners could make it work. I'll say that. I think it would be really great to see. I don't know why, but I think it would be great to see Suzuki in a Mariner. I know they're not related. Ichiro Suzuki and Seiya Suzuki are not related. So but here's what I think happens. I think the Mets will overpay. I think the Mets edge out the Mariners in that situation because I think they will overpay. I think they will back the truck up. They could lose Conforto. They have more of a desperate nature, in my opinion, when it comes to if we're comparing the Mets and the Mariners, and we're doing the desperate gauge. Who's more desperate right now for players? The Mets are more desperate than the Mariners, so the Mets can come in and overpay because you got there's a lot of money that has to go out. So while I like the idea of Suzuki to the Mariners, I think it winds up being the Mets. That's my feeling on that. Let's see. Derek, I don't know the Jays' payroll. What are the chances they're able to sign Vlad and Bichette long? They will. Yep, there you go. Kyle they will. Peter, we don't want Conforto. Are you sure? Are you sure? Peter, do you speak for all of Mets Nation? Are you sure? Let's see. William reported that the top 2 are the Rangers and the Braves. Interesting. Ray is not going to be cheap. I think Ray is going to the Angels, not the Jays. They're trying to catch lightning in a bottle again. So he's not going to be cheap. But if you're comparing him to, Robbie Ray will end up being probably one of the highest paid pitchers coming out of this thing. Apollo Sports, you like Suzuki to the Angels, but I think the Mets are who will sign him. What's on fire, or is it just the headline? We're talking about it, James. So, James, this is a funky day, okay? Things are all effed. This is the second version of the stream. This is take 2. The pitching market we talked about. We're at 30 minutes in on this stream. We did 15 minutes on this, so we're 45 minutes into the content. We talked about all of the pitching moves, and that is what's on fire. is all the pitching moves. Verlander signed. Erod is signed. Syndergaard is signed. We had a trade with Honeywell. We had Loup signed. We had DeSclafani signed. Wood is almost signed. Imminent for Steven Matz. It is close with Cobb. Plus, we have a lot of we have players available via trade. News coming out today with John Means available via trade with Sonny Gray. The Reds saying Sonny Gray. So there's so much. There's so much going on with the pitching market, whereas the hitters, the bats, it's all rumors. We don't have a long list of big names being signed. So anybody that's coming in now looking for that pitching hardcore content part of the stream, it's the other stream that failed, and it is the first 20 minutes of this stream. So you might have to hop back. Let's see. Seamus, what free agent pitcher do you think the Red Sox will get? I love the idea of John Lester going back to Boston. But I do think the Red Sox could get into the mix. I don't think they're going to overspend, but I do think they want to upgrade that rotation. Let's see. Any quality starters out there available by trade? You know, there are, Gary, but I think it's going to wait. I don't think any of them get done early. I think the free agent moves are going to happen first because you could get Sonny Gray in a trade. I think all of the Oakland pitchers are apparently available for the right price. Montas, Bassett, Manaea, Sonny Gray is available. John Means is available. There's a good amount that are available via trade. Marco, your trade with the Orioles, that might fly. The Orioles might do that. That's not bad. Maybe one more piece. Maybe one more prospect from the Mets. Apple, we saw the Franco deal. We did talk about that. We talked about that off the top of the first stream that crashed. Yes, and again, my opinion is I like the Franco deal. I think it was the right move to make. I think they, Franco, it's smart for him. Sure, if he played another year or two, he could get another $100 million, but he could also go out there and blow his knee out and never become the star that we think. Or, he is amazing, and then it's a great deal for Tampa because they're able to keep him longer. Otherwise, they would not be able to keep him. You would see Wander Franco get it. Look at what happened. Similar to Cleveland, when it became time to really give Francisco Lindor the big money, they couldn't do it. You would have a similar situation where Franco in 4 or 5 years would be gone. Now they can try to hold on to him for a decade, and that's good for the Rays. Not good for me as a Blue Jays fan. I'll just say that because he's a beast. He is a star. James Hewitt, Blue Jays 4, 5, 6, 7 pitchers. We talking about in the rotation? I mean, if we're doing this thing, I'll rock and roll with this thing. You could have Matz, Pearson, you have Thomas Hatch, and then for that last spot, if we're going one more over, I guess it really just depends what they do with free agency. 6 could be Pearson, and 7 could be Hatch if they go out there and they go and get Matz and Ray back. Apollo Sports, do you think Astros should extend Tucker or Alvarez this offseason? I haven't looked at their arbitration schedule. I got to think with Wander getting this deal, you start to think, well, should we go and do that with this player? Should we go and do that with our young superstar? It didn't happen when Acuna got his deal, so they probably don't need to hurry and rush into that. I'll be honest. When Acuna did his deal, there was talk, should we lock up this guy? Should we lock up this guy? And none of those deals happened. Tatis got his big deal, and there were no copycat deals. There was nothing else that followed, no one else that did the same thing. I have a feeling this will be the only deal like this offseason. I don't think all of a sudden you'll see the Astros lock up Alvarez or the Blue Jays lock up Vladdy or anything like that. of where they take the future of the franchise and give him a deal for a decade. I don't think that will happen to anybody else. I think Wander will be the only one this year. Raul, I think that Vladdy gets signed after next year. Let's take advantage of the fact that we have an arbitration year and he'll only make like $5 million. Take advantage of that for 1 year, and then next year buy out the final couple years of his arbitration and lock him in for 10 years. Use it to our advantage. Use it to our advantage. Ross Stripling, I believe, is arbitration eligible. Am I thinking about that right? The question about that. I'd expect Vladdy deal to look similar to Tatis. Yeah, maybe more, but it'll be in that ballpark. You know, it'll get done a couple of years after Tatis's deal, so you got to add some inflation in there. What is the situation with? Let me look at that. I think he's still in arbitration. I think he's got one more year of arbitration left. Let me see. Yeah. This is his final year of arbitration for Ross Stripling. The projection is about $4 million, $4.5 million for Ross Stripling. Suzuki coming to the Braves. I mean, the early word is that Rangers and Braves are sort of ahead of the pack. Shooting John Heyman's thought of it being a West Coast team to shreds. I still think that. Listen, he posted yesterday. There's going to be some time here, so we are going to see. I think that they will. I think there'll be some more teams that get into the mix. I think you'll see at least one West Coast team: San Francisco, Seattle, not the Angels, not the Dodgers. So probably San Francisco, Seattle, maybe San Diego. Gets in on it. I think you'll see a West Coast team. I still think the Mets. I think you'll hear about Mets and Blue Jays. You know, maybe once we start to get some wind of what the numbers are, other teams will get in once they realize that, oh, we can afford that. Yeah, we can afford that. Joel, if anyone outbids the Mets are a fraud. Yeah, well, hey, man. The Mets, we'll see what they do there. We will see what they do there. Luke Voigt, no real action on Luke Voigt. I think Luke Voigt, we won't hear much about him. He's in arbitration, so he'll be back with the Yankees. The only reason he won't be back is if the Yankees go out and bring Anthony Rizzo. If the Yankees get Rizzo or Freeman, I think Voigt gets traded. MLB fan Felix Suzuki to the Mariners. It's a nice fit. It feels good, having the name Suzuki, on the back of the jersey. You get Ichiro Suzuki. You get Seiya Suzuki with the Mariners, but we'll see what happens. Richard, you like Josh Jung? I like Josh Jung too. Boy, it has basically just been Wander Franco hour with all of the different, Feinsand and Rosenthal and Passan and Heyman all getting the numbers and correcting the numbers. We got it. Is Means legit, or is he a product of Spider Tech? Great question, Marco. Great question. I don't know. He got hurt right around the time of that whole sticky situation, and then we really didn't see him that much after, and he had a bad second half. We don't know. Again, subscribe if you're just finding the channel, and hit that like. Hit that like if you're just finding the channel, if you appreciate what we are doing. If baseball is your thing, if baseball is life, hit that like. If this is your favorite time of the year, hit that like. It is my favorite time of the year. Seiya did grow up a fan of Ichiro and the Mariners' childhood favorite team. Dilson Maris with that. So yeah, we could see him go to Seattle. We will see what happens. I want to remind everybody, this voice, my throat is My throat is just killing me, guys. I want to remind everybody, you can see it over my shoulder here. The FanDuel contest is live. This week, we're going to do the football contest. It is only a $5 entry. All right, so what you can do is you can click the link in the description. If you don't have a FanDuel account, click that link. You will sign up. Whatever your first deposit is, FanDuel will match that up to 20% up to $500. So you can sign up for FanDuel and then navigate over to the contest page. Or if you have trouble finding the contest page, just DM me and I can send you a direct link to the contest page. If you already have a FanDuel account, there is a link to the contest page for you to get over. Again, it's just a $5 entry. We're going to be doing it for Thanksgiving week, Thursday through Monday games all week. I enjoy FanDuel. Daily fantasy is, to me, more enjoyable. MBalt1027 just subscribed. Welcome to Ballcam Nation. Thank you for subscribing. I enjoy daily fantasy for two reasons. I get my money right away. I don't have to wait till the end of the year. Connor Pisak just subscribed. Welcome to Ballcap Nation. Thank you for subscribing. Welcome to our community. So you get your money right away, and you're not stuck with the players that you drafted that, quite frankly, just stunk all year or got hurt. So I'm a big fan of that. I hope you guys want to give it a shot, and you join if you haven't, and you come on in and do our Thanksgiving week contest. Open to U.S. or Canada. FanDuel is legal in Canada. I know in some areas it took a while for that to finally get squared away, but it is legal in Canada. So if you're in Canada or the U.S., you can join the contest too. So make sure to check that out if you have not. Really want to get a full crew in there so we can have a fun time. So we talk about baseball is live. AJPS right on. Brian's going to the. I do think the Phillies are going to get somebody. High Life Boys. I think the Phillies are going to get Rizzo, Castellanos, or Bryant. One of those three. That's my call. Garrett's notes. Jay Jackson and Suzuki are good friends, so I see Suzuki coming to Atlanta. Could happen. The Braves do need some outfield, right? Those four that they acquired at the deadline are all gone. King Fury has just subscribed. Welcome to Ballcap Nation, King Fury. I got to move this out of the way because you guys are commenting or subscribing, and it's blocking you. And I don't want to do that. So we'll put that down there for now. So a lot of love for the Braves. We will see how this goes. I think that we will get more teams in on it. Let's realistically think about this, guys. Do we really think that there are only going to be two teams that get in on him? I think there's going to be 4, 5, 6 teams that get in on him. Freeman has not signed yet. MLB fan, you like either the Mets or Marlins for Bryant? Mets or Mariners, I'm sorry. The Mariners could be a fit. The Mariners, we did hear the Mariners tried to trade for Chris Bryant at the trade deadline, and it didn't happen, so there's definitely a fit there. Ian, how long is the stream going to be? How long do you normally have streams up? Listen, the streams kind of go up and last sometimes as long as I can go, as long as I'm having fun. I am having fun today. I do think so. Sometimes the streams are 20 minutes. Sometimes they're an hour. Sometimes they're 2 hours. It all really depends. Seamus, you have Chris Taylor signing with Boston. Could happen. You could follow Kike to the Dodgers. Red Sox becoming the Dodgers of the East with Verdugo there and with Kike. I think the Red Sox are a fit for Joe Kelly to go back to. Duvall is a free agent. Yep. Duvall is a free agent. Jays don't have a need for Suzuki. I wouldn't put them on the list. We'll see. The Blue Jays always seem to get in on the international market, right? They just, whether they get the player or not, they're usually in the mix. Ha-Sung Kim last year, they were one of the finalists for him. They didn't get him because of the no minors thing that the Padres gave Kim. The Blue Jays were not willing to do that. You got to think if the Blue Jays are able to make a trade this offseason and they trade, Gurriel as part of a package for J-Ram, or they trade Grichuk as a way to upgrade the pitching, then all of a sudden the Blue Jays could use a player that they can slide into that DH role. Now, I don't think you want to get Suzuki and just slot him in at DH, but you have that fourth outfield bat that you could use. Natalie, I think it's wrong though. I'm pretty sure. Let's look it up again. We looked this up a couple weeks ago, and I'm pretty sure. I think it's a mistake. All right, let's do this. We're gonna look up Adam Duvall contract. I think they've. I think they've made a mistake. Because he had a mutual option and he declined it. I don't know why Adam Duvall is so I don't know why Adam Duvall is so confusing, because he had a mutual option and he declined it. And so I know somewhere it's just kind of funny that in some areas it's saying he's still there, in some areas it's saying he's free. I'm pretty sure he's a free agent. All right, guys, here's the deal. I gotta run. I hate to do it, but I gotta run. Things are crazy right now with everything. With the kids are home. We got the virus running around the house. We got parents trying to juggle. It's nuts right now. So I gotta run. I apologize earlier for any disruptions that we had with the stream. Crapping out the first time. The second take, we did pretty well. I appreciate you guys for coming back after the crash, and everybody that hopped in after. Make sure to hit that like on the way out, everybody, and subscribe if you have not subscribed. If you're just finding the channel for the very first time, I want you to subscribe. Come on, join Ballcap Nation. Join our community that we're building. It's you guys are a big part of this thing. You are Ballcap Nation, so make sure to hit that sub. Come on and join our community. We will be watching what's going on. If anything happens, if Steven Matz makes his decision today, I'll probably pop up and do a live stream. Make sure to hit that alert, because if something happens, something big like that happens, I will go live. I almost went live last night with all the Giants moves. If there was one more move made last night, I was going to do a pop-up live stream. So keep an eye on that. Any of the top 10 free agents that sign, we'll probably hop on live. Any big Blue Jays news that happens, we'll hop on live. We'll do all that. So we will do that. Make sure, again, to hit that like on the way out. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. We'll be live again tomorrow. As to what time we'll be live tomorrow, I do not know. Stay close to the channel. I will post when I will be live. We'll sort of set up the link. We'll set up the thumbnail. We'll put it out. I'm going to shoot for the normal time of 11 a.m., but we may have to push it to the afternoon again like we did today. Keep an eye out for that, and we will talk more about what's going on, because I'm sure there's going to be more that happens over the next 20 hours or so. So you guys, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. And again, hit that like on the way out. Let's see if we can get to 100 likes on the way out. We got 32 to go with over 100 still here. So hit that like on the way out. Subscribe if you haven't, if you're new. And I will talk with you guys again when either something big happens or when we get the live stream set up for tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Baseball is life. Have a good day.